I'm John Perkins. I'm at the 47th Missouri Governor's Conference on Agriculture. I'm joined by University of Missouri professor, Dr. Scott Brown. And Scott, I think one of the things that we took away from the panel was that one of the few things that anybody's certain about right now is the uncertainty we've got in terms of the farm economy going forward.
Absolutely. I think when you look at where we're at today, we are at much lower prices than we saw just a couple of years ago. But there are a lot of things that could move prices in either direction. Trying to predict a drought, trying to predict trade disruptions, trying to predict a major disease outbreak in this country or around the world, all makes looking forward in agriculture very difficult.
I think about this time last year, the commodity markets had dialed in some pretty big crops for South America, and then we had the drought issues, of course. Prices peaked, so it's as much as markets are cyclical, they're also, responsive to outside issues.
Yeah, I think when we look at markets today, they're much more responsive than they used to be 10 years ago. We all can get information much quicker than was the case in the past, and so we get a lot more market moves to the current information. That South America crop's going to be important yet again this year, as well as what the spring looks like. If you look at what's happening in the United States, the Southeast is already dry today, and if that continues to unfold as we move into 2017, then we could see much higher prices than where we are today, and I don't care whether you talk crops or livestock, it happens across the board.
And it's like we've almost accepted permanent drought in the southwestern plains at this point.
That's right. I think we continue to talk about dry weather there. We'll wait and see, though. I look at the cattle side of the market and I say, boy, there's a lot more beef cows than we saw just a couple, 3 years ago, and I think that could certainly weigh on cattle prices in 2017.
Well, and in your opinion, has the market expanded too fast in response to coming back from that drought?
So I think when you look at the record prices that we've seen, yes, we have seen a lot of supply response, and it's across all commodities. It's not just cattle, it's corn, it's soybeans, it's cattle, it's hogs. We've expanded, and the supply side of the equation is now what's really driving, and will keep us at lower prices as we look ahead, unless we get some really extreme supply effect, or demand grows much stronger than we think. But with a stronger dollar today and other issues, I don't think we see exports growing all that strongly in 2017 and pulling prices much higher.
Well, and the dollar and policy are going to be big issues going into 2017.
Absolutely. The strength of the dollar has been one of the issues that have certainly affected us. I remind folks all the time that when you look at, for example, let's say beef prices, our box beef price about 10% higher today relative to 2011 to 2013, yet consumers in other countries, it's 36% higher. It just shows you how important the dollar strength has been to what the price consumers in other countries pay for our products.
In addition to uncertainty, I think another one of the words that describes commodities these days would have to be volatility. Do you see this volatility continuing? Is there going to be maybe an easing back a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think when we look at the volatility side, so potentially barring large events, I think we'll see less volatility moving ahead, which is very opposite of where many economists have been for a long time. So maybe we're at a lower level than we've been for a while, and that will continue. I think we have to plan for that as we look ahead. And then the only real sources of volatility are going to be, again, these outside effects, a drought, for example, that are very difficult to predict, that could cause more volatility. However, I like to remind us, we have a lot more stocks of corn, soybeans, cattle, hogs than we had going into the drought of 2012.